Welcome friends to another r/entitled parents video. Our first story of the day is by Cubarian. My entitled mother throws out my ADHD medication, then complains when my grades drop. I'm currently 21 and have had to live with my very entitled mom my entire life. I have begun to cut contact with her, but she liked to take out anger on me before I left, and now that burden fell to my sisters. Luckily, they go to college at the end of the summer, and my parents are finally getting divorced, so I thought I'd share my stories. So backstory, my first semester of high school, two of my teachers messed up my grades, lowering them by a whole level, but my GPA wasn't all that improved. However, my parents got called in for a meeting with the vice principal. The meeting went well as we cleared up the issue and even got me out of the crazy history teacher's class. She taught God was aliens as if it was fact. Afterward, the VP told my parents I might have ADHD. Luckily, my dad took it seriously, and after a year of arguing, I got diagnosed with ADHD combined type and prescribed Vyvanse. After that, my grades improved and a lot about myself made sense. My mom, on the other hand, felt it was too much of a burden on her. My mom was so entitled that my entire personality should be shaped around what made her look better. To her, I'm not an introvert. I don't love comic books. I don't play video games or D&D, and I don't hate sports. And I especially don't have ADHD. She tried to make me keep it as my little secret. I didn't. Fast forward to finals week my junior year. My medication bottle, which had just been refilled the other day, was now empty. I asked my mom to see if it had been misplaced. She unabashedly said she flushed it, as it was too embarrassing for her to have a broken kid. I got pissed and walked out of the house going to school without a word. I texted my dad on a business trip and told him what happened. As I did, my mom texted me saying if I was gonna be a little ungrateful craphead, I can stay away. I informed my dad that I had nowhere to go. Being amazing, he actually got me a hotel to stay and study. I tried to focus on finals, but the entire week, my grades sucked. When my mom found out, she was pissed. She yelled at me for hours about me being an R. I had put up with this for so long that while I usually broke down and admitted it was right because it was easier and I'd been broken at that point, I was just done. I went to bed while she kept screaming. She canceled my phone plan for a whole month. She blamed it on me being on the phone and my TV/movie I'm watching. I'm currently a film major, so I didn't mind, but eventually it was too inconvenient for her. Even years after this, she still claims it's all in my head and I shouldn't be trying to take my medicine. This is just one of the many entitled moments, but not the worst, honestly. I might share more stories like the story of my graduation party. Do you guys feel like when the mom flushed OP's medicine that they should have had some kind of legal trouble as a result? Maybe something the father could call up and set in motion? Let me know in the comments down below. Our next story is by Junior Payment 8049. Locked baby room? Call the security. It was a day out with my family of four, with my youngest being a breastfed 4-month-old. We were heading to have our lunch at the mall when my baby was still asleep. As luck would have it, baby wakes up in the middle of lunch, so it's feeding time. So me and baby head to the mall's baby room. The one that's nearest only has one room. I didn't have to wait long, but I definitely need some time to feed my fussy baby. So in I go and lock the door to the baby room. I had a hard time nursing my baby as she just woke up. Cranky, hungry, and baby, bad combination. Once I had settled down and started to nurse my baby, I heard a woman outside the room. From the semi-transparent door, I saw a silhouette of a stroller. I thought to myself, no big deal, she can find another room at another part this level. Oh boy, was I wrong to think they would just leave. The door was pushed hard and loud enough to jolt my baby from latching on me. Baby started crying. Then I heard the entitled mother talking to her male companion, I would assume is her husband, saying that the door is locked. I can hear every word they say, but they could not hear my baby's cry. After they realized the door is locked, they knocked on the door. My baby's crying, so I did not bother to call out to them that I'm using the room. Big mistake. The entitled mother and her husband started discussing about the locked door. I did not bother to listen in as I was trying to get my baby to calm down so that she'll latch on and nurse. Then I heard the husband mumbled a jumble of numbers to the entitled mother. I froze when he finished as I realized that those numbers sounded like a phone number. That entitled mother is calling the number for assistance that is plastered in front of the baby's room. Gosh, I was so pissed. I shouted out towards the door that I'm using the room. My baby got upset at the moment my voice left my mouth, as my tone and volume were not pleasant. But they're deaf towards any sound that's coming from inside the room. She proceeded to speak on the phone saying that the door's locked and there's no response from inside the room. And she proceeded to give out our location. She wanted whoever that was on the other side of the phone to come over to unlock the door for them. Cut the story short, security came and I spoke to him whilst comforting my baby from inside the room while he was on the other side of the door. He quickly understood the situation and let me be, but the entitled mother seemed to be in her own world as the security guard had to re-explain to her that someone is using the room. I overheard the security guard repeat what he said twice in order to get that entitled mother to go to another baby room. After I was done, I kept my eyes peeled for any couple with a stroller as if I could have identified them. If the door's locked, it probably means that there's somebody inside. How does somebody default to calling an assistance number and thinking that's quicker than just finding another baby room in this mall? I'm sure you got escalators and whatnot. If this mall has multiple baby rooms, it can't be that hard to find another one. But then again, what do I know? This next story is by Ferraris for Life, F and symbol CKU Karen. Ladies and gents, I have a banger for you guys. This story's not only some really awesome petty revenge, and also a cool life lesson. Backstory, my parents are rich, but don't worry. I'm not one of those spoiled rich kid types. We live in Arizona, near the border with California. We just got out of lockdown and life is adjusting back to normal. This is a mostly white and Hispanic community, and other races aren't really as common here, so we do our best to be hospitable to them. Also, there's a court case on this, so I'm not using real names because of some law. Actual story, an African-American couple moved in a few months back and they're really nice. They always helped out in the community and were all around nice people. They also threw really nice pool parties for everyone in the neighborhood. We had this thing where every 2 weeks or so, we'd all get together for a party. They had a really nice yard, so everyone looked forward to their turn. The husband traveled for work quite often, and his wife always wanted to go with, so they needed someone to watch their house while they're gone. They knew me, and I was trying to save up for a car. My parents offered to buy me one, but I wanted to earn it myself. This was how the next few months passed. Enter the entitled family. The father was kind of entitled, but after interacting with him a few times after this, I realized he's a pretty chill dude and just goes along with whatever his wife says. When they first arrived, they got on everyone's nerves by calling the HOA on almost every house on the block. Their kids, who are teenagers, are even worse. Rarely were they invited to the parties. For this reason, they were constantly sneaking into people's yards to play. They didn't have much of a yard. They were always caught, and the police were called several times, but they always worked their way out of it. I have no idea how. Anyway, the nice couple from before called me and said they were leaving in a few days and would be gone for 3 days. I accepted, and the first day went smoothly. As I was cleaning the house the second morning, I noticed the backyard was all messed up, but I distinctly remember cleaning it up the night before. I checked the security cameras, and it turns out the couple and their kids went into the yard after I went to bed. I don't think they knew I was there. The nice couple would be gone for another day, so I had the great idea to dump an excessive amount of chlorine in the water. For those of you who don't know, pool chlorine is a toxic chemical used to treat pools with algae. The effects don't last very long, but it gets the job done. I assumed the entitled mom and company would return that day, and if they didn't, the chlorine would be gone by the time the nice couple would get back, so no harm done. I was right. Around 2 in the afternoon, I see the parents boosting their kids over the gate, then climbing over themselves. They all were really hyped up about being able to do whatever they wanted, and all of them but the father just jumped right in. Splash! Instantly, they were all screaming in pain. Chlorine causes rapid hair and skin degeneration, so I knew they wouldn't be coming back anytime soon. I burst out laughing, loud enough for them to hear outside, and their bright red faces suddenly paled. They all booked it out of there so fast, they should have tried to join the Olympic track team. The police were called, and I don't know by who. They arrived a little later after the nice couple got back. The couples asked why I was laughing, and I showed them the security footage and told them what I'd done. Pretty soon, they were laughing right along with me. The police arrive at the house, and I repeat the process. They don't laugh, but have a hard time holding it in. They go over to the house and question the entitled family. They lie their butts off, even though the cops can see the chlorine effects all over them. They ask if the nice couple wants to press charges, and the guy grins and says, absolutely. There is more to the story, like the court case, but I can't legally publish it until the case is over and becomes public record. Let me know if you want to hear about that, and hopefully you'll learn something too. For some reason, this story read like one of those things that sounds like a perfect way to handle somebody that's overstepping their boundaries that somehow ends up with the homeowner being the one responsible for having dangerous materials or something. I don't know if you guys have seen all those kinds of reports that I'm trying to reference, but there's always been these kinds of stories you see sensationalized online where crappy person A was doing this to somebody, so person B did this in their area, and when crappy person A came back and got hurt, the good person was still somehow at fault. So it's nice to see that it sounds like the person that was just trying to protect their yard and their pool, or what OP did to protect their yard and pool, isn't punishing the people who were just trying to protect it. And our final story of the day is by It's Personal Man. The kid next door using binoculars to peer into my window was picked up by my security camera. Parent freaks out that I am using cameras. Backstory: neighbors have 3 boys, all under the age of 7. In my first encounter with the mom, she promptly tells me, not asks, that her kids wander. I naively thought that they meant there might be the odd rogue ball episode or something, so don't protest at the time. Our yards are unfenced, and we share a driveway. Oh boy, was I wrong. My yard, back deck, front garden, and even the inside of my house was seen as an extension of their space. The boys would even have sword fight tournaments on my back deck, off my kitchen. The parents would literally do nothing. I was put in a position many times to ask for more privacy as it was affecting my work and a general sense of well-being as I'm a very private person. It took some push, but finally, things got a bit better. But they still wander, however, to a level I'm not willing to cause drama over. This past early winter, I decided to put in security cameras. I live alone in a not-so-great area, and I wanted some peace of mind. I also wanted to document encroachment in case it got bad again. In that time, the cameras have picked up a lot of encroachment from kids, but I did not raise the issue because the relationship with the parents is peaceful, and I wanted to keep it that way. Fast forward to yesterday, my camera picks up a clip of the middle kid peering into my window with a pair of binoculars. I send the clip to the parents, explaining one of my cameras picked it up, and that I am not comfortable with this behavior. It is inappropriate and an invasion of my privacy. They send a note back saying he was only trying to see if I was home so he could say hello, then insisted on knowing more about my security cameras, what they can see and if they can pick up the kids playing in their yard. I explained that they don't, as they only pick up motion in my yard. But if the kids are in my yard, which they are a lot, they are recorded. The parents are insisting I take the cameras down. The lesson is, entitled parents raise entitled children. I'm frightened to see what kind of adults these kids will turn into. Who knows if I will be here long enough to find out. Unfortunately, OP says any kind of like fence or plant life creating a border is just not possible for them right now. But as long as there's no laws for that area that say you can't have those kinds of cameras there, it's on their property, recording only their property, I think they have every right to have those cameras and shouldn't be bullied to take them down. What do you guys think? But with that being said, that's all the time we have for today. So if you have a favorite story of the day, let me know which story and why in the comments down below. But besides that, if you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like, and if you haven't, subscribe and turn notifications on so you'll never miss an upcoming video. No matter what you do, whether it's just viewing the video, liking, subscribing, turning notifications on, I appreciate the heck out of it. Every little thing that you do helps the channel grow that much more, and I can't thank you enough for it. So, until next time, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll be right here next time on the Storytime channel.